What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network. And today we're talking the December 18th, 2020 edition of Talking Smack. So I completely forgot that because SmackDown aired on FS1 on Friday, that they had Talking Smack on immediately afterward. Now, obviously, they don't usually do that with the Fox show. When SmackDown's on Fox, they don't do Talking Smack right afterward. They just air it the next day for 25 minutes on the WWE Network. When they're on FS1, it's kind of like what Backstage used to be, although Backstage was... I can't even say it was better, because I really like Talking Smack. They're kind of on the same level. But whenever they do the show on FS1, which they've only done maybe one or two other times, they have Booker T on the host. So they had Caleb Braxton hosting here with Paul Heyman, as always, and Booker T. And the show is longer. It's not only a half an hour on TV, it's an hour. So on the network, it's about 44 minutes. They uploaded it. I don't know if it was last night or this morning. I watched it this morning. I don't like, honestly, when they do it on FS1 because it's a longer show for the sake of being a longer show. And because it's on FS1, they got to throw in all the fucking Fox plugs. They had Jay Glazer interviewing The Rock. They showed Sasha's interview with Charlotte Wilder. All good stuff. But if I cared about that stuff, then I would go out of my way to watch it. I don't, because I really don't care. I watch enough content as it is. I don't need to see all this other, Ryan Satin's interview with X, Y, and Z. I don't really give a fuck, to be honest with you. That's cool they do that stuff. I don't really care to see that on Talking Smack. So I'll mention that as we go along here. I'm not going to break them down in depth, because I really just didn't care. So Booker T was comparing Kevin Owens to Rocky when we started the show because of what happened at the end of SmackDown, with Kevin Owens refusing to stay down. Heyman joins them soon after because he was kind of, what's the right word? Not scarred, but like they had that whole segment at the end of the show where Roman Reigns and Jey Uso left Kevin Owens laying, and Kevin Owens was one of the guests on the show. Thank God they saved him for last because he was by far the best part of this episode. Heyman goes on a little rant here, as Kayla says, and Heyman says it's not a rant, but he does have something to say. He says that he does fear Kevin Owens. The only reason he fears Kevin Owens, though, is because of what he'll bring out of Roman Reigns come TLC in their TLC match. And he also fears Roman Reigns, which was already evident if you've seen any interaction between the two for the last 3 months. But he kind of made that known again here. So their first official guest was Carmella, and she said that she had her champagne toast ruined by Sasha Banks, but as always, she was one step ahead of her. Sasha thought she can get one over on her by ambushing her from behind in the segment. Carmella said, no. Attacked her anyway with the help of her friend that's been appearing alongside her the last couple of weeks. This was weird. So Booker T, I like Booker T. This was a dumb line, though. He said he doesn't like Sasha, which we found out the last time the show was on FS1, because they had a bit of a heated back and forth, which was hilarious. He's made some weird comments about Sasha before. He doesn't like Sasha Banks, but that wasn't the weird comment. The weird comment was when he said that Sasha has a high IQ, and somehow that gives her an advantage over Carmella. Like, what? First of all, you're calling Carmella dumb, which, I don't know. I don't really know Carmella, but whether she's smarter than Sasha Banks, is he insinuating that Carmella's a dumb blonde? I don't know. I don't really know what he meant when he said high IQ. Who the fuck's is high IQ? What is this, 5th grade? Who the hell says that? And he also says that she's not a history maker as much as Carmella is. And I say Charlotte because Carmella brought her up. Carmella, listen, I'm not the biggest Carmella fan, but I thought this was amazing. So, and I like Booker T too, but she puts him in his fucking place here. So he goes, oh, you don't have as high of an IQ as Sasha, and she's made more history than you. And then Carmella goes, Did Sasha ever beat Charlotte to retain her title? The answer is no. In NXT, yes. But on Raw, did she ever beat her to retain her Raw Women's Championship? The answer is no. Carmella did. Did Sasha ever beat Asuka? Yes, but Carmella has beaten her more. She has pinned Asuka in more one-on-one matches than Sasha ever has, which is a fact. The fact that Carmella has beaten Charlotte in more title matches to retain her title than Sasha has is also a fact. And then she runs down her list of accomplishments, which again is not short. She's technically a 2-time Miss Money in the Bank. I've always considered her to be a 1-time Miss Money in the Bank, but she did technically win 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. She was the first ever Miss Money in the Bank. She's a former and the first ever female 24/7 champion, mixed match challenge winner. She is a former SmackDown Women's Champion, and she won the Miss WrestleMania, or not the Miss, what is this, WrestleMania 25? The WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania 35. So, yeah, she's not wrong when she says, I've made just as much history as Sasha. Maybe not quite as much, but still quite a bit. To her own credit, which you got to bring that up. And she really shut Booker T the hell up when she said that, which I thought was hilarious. And then Kayla Braxton said, good luck on Sunday. And she says, I don't need your luck. I'm going to walk out the SmackDown Women's Champion. Carmella has been doing a lot better in this role than I anticipated, so props to her on that. So that's when they showed the Rock and Jay Glazer interview about Rock turning heel and the risk that he took with that and how fans were booing him and turning his career around. Again, cool interview. Glad to see The Rock. It wasn't live or anything. This was probably from a while ago. But again, if I give a fuck about this shit, then I would go out of my way to watch it on the Fox social medias. I don't on the social media channels to go watch it. I just, whatever. It doesn't really do much for me personally. I came here to watch the interviews. I didn't come here to listen to Sasha Banks talking to Charlotte Wilder or to see The Rock talk to Jay Glazer. Who cares? So they bring on the Street Profits, who Jay, I don't know why I said Jay, because I'm looking at Jay's name here in my notes here, Jay Glazer. Paul Heyman just oozes praise for the Profits, calling them the most transformative team of 2020, the best team going today, all this other shit. I guess he's, he's buddy-buddy with the Usos, or at least Jay, and I guess the Usos aren't as good of a team as the Profits, according to Paul Heyman. So anyway, Paul Heyman's running down their accolades and how great they are, blah, 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 and that's when Sami Zayn comes in. And he runs down the Sammy Awards and who won what and how he only has 2 awards when he should have 3. And they kind of go back and forth. And the Profits make fun of him for only having 2 awards and not having all the awards because Big E won Superstar of the Year because that's what happened. And Sami Zayn, that's when he said that he's coming for Big E. So the Profits here were completely pointless. I love the Montez Ford promo last week. I thought that was fantastic when he showed his serious side. They just serve zero purpose here, so I'm not even really sure why they were there. The Sami Zayn stuff was funny, but the Profits were completely pointless. That's when they aired the Charlotte Wild interview with Sasha Banks, talking about her big 2020. Booker T calls Roman Reigns a privileged kid, which was interesting, saying that he doesn't want to go back to the place where he came from, and that's why he's more dangerous than ever going into TLC. Okay. And he also said that Roman has nothing to lose. So they welcome on Bayley, who's celebrating her win over Bianca Belair on SmackDown. And Booker has always said, he says here, that Bayley was never great at one thing, which is not true, but he says that Bayley is rather good at everything, which I guess is a compliment. She's like a master of all trades, in his opinion. And Heyman, again, oozes praise for Bayley as well, as calling her, or saying that she should be the SmackDown Women's Champion right now. And Bayley said that the only reason Bianca is going after her is because that she wants to be the top dog. Well, guess what? You're not. You failed to beat me. I beat you on SmackDown. It's over, sister. And that was pretty much it. So they welcome on Kevin Owens. And again, this was by far the best part of the show. I liked the Bayley stuff. A little short, but I liked it. For a 44-minute show, the guests were not on here very long. Kevin Owens was on here the longest. But Kevin Owens essentially demands that Paul Heyman shakes his hand. Heyman doesn't do it initially. He's very hesitant because he thinks that Kevin Owens is going to take him and just throw him into the glass table or something, which was funny. But Kevin Owens says that he won't, but he probably will. If he doesn't shake his hand, it's a respect thing. So he shakes his hand and he holds on to his hand for a while. When Owens says, he goes on this long, kind of soft-spoken tangent to Paul Heyman, saying that he knows that Paul Heyman has followed his career pre-WWE. Therefore, he knows what he's capable of. And that except his family, except his wife and kids and his, parents, whatever, there is nothing that he isn't willing to sacrifice to win that championship and beat Roman Reigns. He's going to take pleasure in beating Roman Reigns at TLC. And he doesn't care if Paul Heyman, actually not that he doesn't care, but he doesn't want Paul Heyman to rebut. He doesn't want Paul Heyman to say something in return. He doesn't want Paul Heyman to retort his own speech, a little tangent here. He doesn't have the patience for it. He doesn't have the interest in the Paul Heyman rebuttal. And he says that he does, he's going to have to punch him in the face and knock his teeth down his throat. And he says after he beats Roman Reigns on Sunday, then you have my number, then you can call me, and then we can talk. And that was pretty much it. So there were 5 minutes left in the show. They came back from a commercial, and they were running down, Kayla was anyway, the TLC card offering predictions. Kayla and Booker T were. Nothing really of note. I mean, they weren't even really predictions. They were just kind of previewing the 6-match card for Sunday. And Heyman, every time they tried to throw it to him, he was silent the entire time. And then at the very end, he goes, well, thanks. Like thanks for trying to save me from Kevin Owens a couple minutes ago, you know? So I thought that was good. So the predictions were pointless. This show was needlessly long. Not a great talking smack, but Carmelo was great. I really enjoyed Carmelo. The Profits were pointless. Bayley was entertaining, and I thought Kevin Owens was tremendous. So again, I can't really say it wasn't a good talking smack. It was a good episode. I just don't like the longer episodes. One, it's more for me to watch, and I don't like the longer episodes. It just feels pointless to me. It's like making a 3-hour, or rather a 2-hour Raw 3 hours. The show's still, it's a good show. Why ruin it by making it longer? That's probably not the best analogy, but I just don't like the longer shows. And thankfully, we're back to normal next week, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure they're still airing the show next week, the day after Christmas. But yeah, that's about it, guys. So definitely check out, not the entire Talking Smack, there's a lot of filler there, but check out the Kevin Owens stuff, and definitely the Carmella stuff as well. I thought both of them were fantastic. And thank you guys, as always, for checking out my Talking Smack reviews right here on the channel. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Check out the Talking Smack reviews, the other Talking Smack reviews I have here on the channel in the description box down below. We should have another one coming up next Saturday as well. So enjoy the rest of your holiday season, guys. Hit that bell button as well to be notified every time a new video goes up. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.